Well, it's been a long time coming, but Nintendo finally have a high-definition console with the Wii U. So how does it stack up? We'll get to the games in a moment, but first let's talk about the hardware.
Yes, well, it's a compact design and it's backwards compatible and works with all your old Wii modes too. It doesn't have a LAN port, which I find somewhat unsettling. Heck, sometimes I just like to plug in a wire, you know?
Faster connection.
The most visually intensive game we could test with it was Batman Arkham City. And to be honest, it wasn't the next-gen graphics we were expecting. We weren't completely wowed. Having said that, it's also not completely fair to test it with a port of an older game. To be honest, Hex, I'm a bit worried about the actual physical size of this device. The PS3 was a barbecue, but at least that meant you knew that it had stuff in it, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, but if Nintendo have shown us anything, it's not size that matters, but what you do with it. And it does have a multi-core CPU and SD card support for up to 32 gig.
I like that the discs are kind of smooth around the outside, though. I'm not sure how much of a problem DVD disc injury was, but I quite like that. The controller is interesting, though. Navigating menus and streaming from a touchscreen to a TV are two things I love about modern technology, and I'm glad it's a main feature of this console.
Oh,
Protect myself by holding it above my head. I did find it a bit hard to get used to using camera control with the two sticks so far apart, so I think for core games I'd want to use that Pro controller we've seen all those pictures of.
There were some online features which we couldn't test out with our console, but now let's get to what really matters, the games. And first up is New Super Mario Bros. U. Woohoo!
In an unusual twist for Mario, Bowser actually invades Peach's castle, and then Mario and his friends are thrown far away.
From that point on, you'll slip into that familiar Mario groove of jumping on Goombas and smashing bricks. There isn't that much new here, especially if you've played the last couple of Super Mario games. There's a flying squirrel suit which lets you glide, and a couple of new modes. Boost Rush moves the level along and you have to keep up. You can also use your Miis in the challenge modes, which is kind of cool. But we like the challenge modes a lot. They really test your platforming and Mario playing skills with events like jumping on enemies without hitting the ground, and our favourite, keeping Molly the Mole on a moving platform.
This game is dripping with cute, from the music to the animations. It's almost disgusting how cute this game is, and it's hard not to fall in love with the level design and beautiful backgrounds.
You can play with 5 people at once utilising the gamepad. Whoever's on the touchscreen can do simple things such as place blocks to save others or hassle them. It gets very chaotic on screen, and I found that slight pause when someone gets a power-up can be a little frustrating, especially if you're mid-flight.
Yeah, those collisions can be difficult to manage, but that's half the fun, getting the death stares from others when you've knocked them into oblivion. Up there.
Get out of here.
Stop it!
Just steal
Marco, you're the worst to play Mario with.
It's
Okay, hang on.
all for one.
This.
I did not like the touchscreen features, though. It felt completely tacked on.
Yeah, it's not that much fun being block guys. You're just there to fill in level design, really. There isn't that much else to say. I mean, it's highly polished, but nothing that made us jump out of our chair.
Yeah, and at the risk of sounding cynical, I think if you played the last couple of Mario games, you might have a few goes of this and soak in the visuals, but then you'll probably put it down. I always find it so hard to score these kind of Nintendo games, Hex, because there is all that nostalgia, and it is a very well-made game and polished, but it is the same thing I've played over and over again, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I like that you can stream it directly to the Wii U's gamepad and just play in bed for a while if you want.
Or the toilets.
Ew. And I do like that it gets nice and challenging, so I'm giving it 7 out of 10 rubber chickens. Now, we will check out Nintendo Land later in the show, but for now, let's cross live to the 2012 Good Game Game Awards.